Hey guys, what's going on? It's me. It's PAT. Honestly, in a very, very, very impromptu video about WrestleMania. Um, I'm gonna give my opinions on the whole show and what I thought of it and everything. Was it a good show? First of all, yeah, it was a pretty solid show. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't incredible, but it was pretty solid. I honestly really enjoyed it. This is the one of the better WrestleManias I've seen since I started watching WrestleManias live. So I'm honestly was pretty satisfied with this show. However, there was one major flaw, which I'll get to later on. I'm just going to kind of run through all the matches and everything and give my honest opinions on each match. Okay, the first match of the night was Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy in the Cruiserweight title match on the kickoff. I thought this should have been on the main show. Honestly, very solid match between these two guys. Both are great workers. I'm not a big Tony Nese fan, but very good work, very good spots in this match. Great match overall, very solid. Tony Nese is the new Cruiserweight champion. I'm not 100% sure on how I feel about that because, again, I'm not really a big Tony Nese guy because Buddy Murphy is, in my opinion, the best Cruiserweight in all of WWE right now. But it was a pretty solid match. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. So yeah, very solid. Women's Battle Royal. Honestly, Women's Battle Royal wasn't all too interesting. Ember Moon made kind of an anticlimactic return because they didn't even really say anything about her returning. I thought that was, it was cool that she's back. I love that she's back, but again, they didn't really do much with it. Know what I'm saying? Carmella won, which I thought was the wrong choice. Near the end of the match, they had a really cool run with like Sarah Logan and Asuka and Sonya Deville and all of them. I thought one of those four should have won the match. But if it didn't happen, we had Carmella win. Do I think she's going to do anything with it? Probably not. Naomi didn't do anything with it. Carmella probably won't either. Let's go move on to the next one. However, I do think Sarah Logan might get a push. I hope she does. She really did a great job in this match. Raw Tag Team Championship was the Revival versus Kurt Hawkins. And what the world? They just showed a meme. ESPN just showed a meme with like a Photoshop thing. It's like Carmella instead of Becky Lynch. It's like, that's not Becky Lynch. What in the world is happening? Back to what I was saying. Revival versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. I feel like this match would have been much better with a better build. They didn't have a lot of build for this match, unfortunately, but I feel like had they had a better build to this match, this would have meant a lot more to end Kurt Hawkins' like big streak thing, you know what I mean? But I'm happy that Kurt Hawkins' streak's finally over, but he's a Raw Tag Championship. I do think it kind of devalues the championship a tiny bit, but I'm not going to complain too much. Kurt Hawkins' winning streak is fine. Like, his losing streak is finally over. His winning streak is now on. How long is that going to last? Probably not too long. No offense to Kurt Hawkins, because I like him. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal felt like a match that should have just been like a 3-minute segment, because that's what it felt like it was. Luke Harper came back, which was awesome. I like Luke Harper a lot. Excuse me, I can't talk tonight. I'm tired. Then the two Saturday Night Live guys, I don't know their names. But they kind of had like this segment thing where they talked near the end of the match, and then Braun Strowman ended up winning. Braun Strowman was my pick to win. I knew he was going to win. Everybody knew he was going to win. But whatever. It was kind of a throwaway match, in my opinion. Then we kicked off the show with Alexa Bliss, and Hulk Hogan was a really cool addition there. Whatever you guys' opinions on Hulk Hogan is. Very cool. And then Paul Heyman comes out, and the first match of the night ends up being Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. And this match was honestly very shocking, depending on like who you ask. Very shocking that Seth Rollins won in the amount of time that he did and the amount of moves that he did. It was like 3 curve stomps, a couple other moves, a low blow, 3 curb stomps. Seth Rollins wins the Universal Championship. I'm not really going to complain much here. Seth Rollins is the new Universal Champion. No longer on Brock Lesnar. We don't have to worry about that part-time stuff, at least for now. How long is that going to last? I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy Seth Rollins is the champion. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton is a very decent match. This honestly wasn't really a very match I was really looking forward to compared to the other ones. But it wasn't a bad match by any means. It was a pretty solid match. A couple cool things they did there. The build-up for this match, by the way, was not bad at all. They did some very, very good promos, very good stuff all around. But Randy Orton lost to AJ Styles. I think they chose the right person to win. So that was very good. The next match was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the tag team titles on SmackDown. It was Ricochet and Aleister Black, Sheamus and Cesaro, Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Usos. The Usos won this match. Very, very good spots in this match, especially with Ricochet and Aleister Black. If they keep them as a tag team, I prefer them as singles competitors, but if they keep them as a tag team, they're going to be a great, great tag team moving forward. They stole the weekend in my eyes. At NXT, they stole the show there too. So Usos won. I expected that. So, that's fine. Miz versus Shane McMahon. What a freaking match this was. This is a very, very fun match. Very intense match, especially the ending with the superplex. Shane won in a very, very smart way, in my opinion, with the superplex. And then he pinned Miz after that. I thought that was really cool. So, very, very cool, very intense match. There's some stuff with the Miz's dad in there that was really funny. So, pretty solid. Not bad at all. Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag titles. Bayley and Sasha versus the Iconics versus Nia Jax and Tamina and Beth Phoenix and Natalya, the Divas of Doom, if you remember that from back in the day. This is a pretty decent match as well. Not really a lot of noteworthy stuff besides the Iconics winning, which, that's fine. I don't have a problem with the Iconics. I do like the Iconics, but I prefer Bayley and Sasha as champs, of course. But if you want to give the Iconics a run with the title, that's fine. We can go ahead and do that. That's not a big deal. Next match. Probably my pick for the match of the night was Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. What a great, great, great match. Very great storytelling in this match between Kofi and Daniel. These two know how to work so well. This is one of the best matches of the year so far. Kofi Kingston finally is WWE champion. Don't know how cool of a moment this was, honestly. I've been a Kofi fan since I started watching wrestling, and seeing Kofi Kingston finally win the WWE Championship was such a cool moment. This is definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a rewatch in my eyes. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. This is probably, honestly, in all seriousness, probably the weakest match on the card. Samoa Joe won in like a minute. There honestly really isn't much to it. I understand it's probably because Rey was hurt and everything, but why even have the match if it's just going to be that short? It doesn't really do much, honestly. Now, in all seriousness, it did make Samoa Joe look like a badass. So, what can you do? Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre is the next match. Honestly, this match was really disappointing. I didn't have like the best of expectations for this, but I expected it to be a pretty solid match. Not amazing, but I expected it to be solid. This match was okay. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't awful either. It was just kind of a big pile of meh. Roman Reigns won, which, yeah, I expected that. It's Roman Reigns. I'm happy he's back. Don't get me wrong, but Roman Reigns won. Whatever. Next segment was the Elias segment, which was honestly a very cool segment with Elias having like two of himself on the screen and then himself. It's definitely worth a watch. And then out of nowhere, Thugonomics John Cena comes out after a big video package with Babe Ruth and everything. That was super cool. John Cena spit basic fire at him, at Elias, which is super cool. Very, very cool moment there with Dr. Thugonomics John Cena. Very, very fun moment there. The next segment was Triple H versus Batista. This match is essentially what I expected it to be. I expected it to be a pretty decent match. And it was a pretty solid match. A very brutal match, honestly. The stuff with Triple H pulling out Batista's nose ring and him destroying Batista's fingers was pretty cool. Triple H won. Again, I expected that, which is fine. Good match. Great match between these two. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. My opinion, the second weakest match on the card. I was very invested in this match because it's Kurt Angle's last match, but they decide to have Baron Corbin win. Now, I appreciate that Kurt Angle wanted to put somebody over on his way out, but Baron Corbin? He's got X-Pac heat at this point. Like, Baron Corbin has not, like, heat, that not great heat. He has straight up, like, X-Pac heat. He has not the heat like, boo, we want you to lose to the guy. It's like, boo, we want you to get out. It's basically the heat that he's getting. But it's very cool to see Kurt Angle in his last match. Thank you, Kurt Angle, for everything. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So thank you for everything, Kurt Angle. We will miss you in the ring, but I understand why you had to retire. Next match, the second to last match on the card, Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. The Demon was the big story of this match. Very, very cool. However, not really a lot of things to talk about here. Finn Balor is the new Intercontinental Champion. Very cool. They probably should have held off on him getting the title like an Elimination Chamber. They probably just should have held off on that until WrestleMania. But I'm not going to complain. Finn Balor's the champion. Pretty much on the show, they gave us pretty much everything we wanted. So I'm honestly not going to complain here. The main event of the show was built up very, very well. The triple threat match, Becky Lynch, the man, versus Charlotte Flair, the queen, versus the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. Honestly, up until the ending, this match was awesome. This match was great. It had some very cool stuff. There's a little bit of sloppiness in there. It was a little rough around the edges, but I honestly was very invested in this match, very entertained by everything that was going on. Ronda Rousey had Joan Jett play her entrance theme to the ring, which was awesome. Charlotte flew in a freaking helicopter. That was cool. Very, very good match up until the kind of botched ending. I thought it was botched, but the ending was Ronda picked her up for the Piper's Pit, and then he shifted her weight. No, she shifted her weight over kind of to the and she kind of had her let me restart. So Ronda had her for the Piper's Pit. Becky Lynch shifts her weight, rolls her up. You could see Ronda's shoulders are up, and they still count the 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch wins the championship. I was happy Becky Lynch won. Don't get me wrong. I've got this shirt on. I'm happy Becky Lynch won, but the ending was a little anticlimactic. Now, don't get me wrong. This match was awesome, but the ending was a little anticlimactic. I was expecting a little bit more from it. I was expecting it to be this grandiose, like this great thing with Becky Lynch winning and everything. She won, but the ending just seemed a little, I don't know, just seemed a little off. Maybe this was intentional. Maybe they intended to do this and they're going to lead up to Ronda versus Becky on another show or on Raw after WrestleMania. Or, in my opinion, they could lead this up to Money in the Bank, have another women's main event for Money in the Bank, and they could sell some pretty good tickets for that. Ronda versus Becky. I mean, first time ever, just the singles match between the two. They could do that. I would pay to see that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with Becky Lynch winning the title. Very good match up until the ending was a little so-so and a little anticlimactic, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain because Becky Lynch won the match, which was awesome. Overall, I got to say WrestleMania was pretty good this year, compared to last year. I thought WrestleMania last year was a bit of a letdown, but I thought this year was pretty good. Only a couple real complaints on the show. Not really any super major things to complain about because they pretty much gave us everything we wanted. Seth Rollins is new Universal Champion. Kofi just won the WWE Championship. Becky Lynch is the undisputed champion. I'm honestly really satisfied with the show. I can't wait to watch Raw and SmackDown tomorrow. Raw tomorrow and then SmackDown on Tuesday. I'm honestly really excited. So, honestly, that's really all my thoughts I have for this pay-per-view. Great show. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. And also follow me on Instagram @WrestlingBreezes. Thanks, guys.